The camera footage flickered to life, and what Alexander Drake, one of the world's most powerful billionaires, saw on his phone screen froze him mid-breath. His little boy, Ethan, was kneeling beside the nanny, but it wasn't what they were doing that made Alexander's heart pound. It was what he heard his son whisper that shattered everything he thought he knew about love, family, and what truly mattered. Alexander Drake was a man who had everything: power, money, success, everything except peace. After losing his wife, Emily, in a car accident 3 years ago, he buried himself in work, believing that building his empire was the only way to escape the loneliness gnawing at his heart. His 6-year-old son, Ethan, however, had been left behind in the emotional wreckage of that tragedy. The mansion was massive, luxurious, but silent. Every room smelled like wealth and emptiness. Alexander rarely came home before midnight, and when he did, he would quietly peek into Ethan's room, only to find him fast asleep, clutching a small, worn-out teddy bear his mother had given him. To fill the void of maternal warmth, Alexander hired a new nanny, a gentle young woman named Grace Miller. She was kind, soft-spoken, and patient with Ethan in ways Alexander no longer knew how to be. But the billionaire's mind, scarred by betrayal and corporate deceit, refused to trust easily. After hearing rumors of nannies stealing from wealthy families, Alexander decided to install hidden cameras around the mansion, just for safety, he told himself. At first, the footage was ordinary: Grace reading bedtime stories, preparing meals, walking Ethan to school. But one night, something unexpected happened. Ethan sat by the fireplace with Grace, clutching his teddy bear, his small voice trembling. "Do you think Mommy still remembers me?" Grace knelt down, tears in her eyes. "Of course she does, sweetheart. She's watching you every single day." Alexander's chest tightened. For the first time in years, he felt the sting of guilt. He'd never once talked to his son about Emily, never given him a chance to grieve. But it wasn't until the following week that the cameras revealed something that would change everything. It was a Sunday morning when the alert came through on Alexander's phone: motion detected in the living room. He opened the live feed, expecting to see Ethan playing. Instead, he saw Grace sitting on the couch with her face buried in her hands, clearly crying. Ethan climbed onto the couch beside her, confusion in his eyes. "Miss Grace, why are you sad?" She quickly wiped her tears. "It's nothing, Ethan. Just grown-up things." But Ethan wasn't convinced. The little boy got up, disappeared into his room, and returned a minute later with his small piggy bank, a cracked ceramic bear decorated with stickers. He held it out with both hands. "Here. You can have this. Mommy used to say money makes people feel better." Grace gasped, shaking her head. "Oh, Ethan, no. I can't take your money." "Please," he said softly. "You're my friend." That simple word, friend, pierced Alexander's heart. He watched as Grace hugged Ethan tightly, whispering, "You have the biggest heart I've ever known." Then Ethan added something that made Alexander drop his phone in shock. "I wish Daddy smiled like you do. Maybe then he wouldn't be so lonely." The billionaire stared at the screen, speechless. He'd been so focused on success that he'd become invisible to the only person who truly needed him. That night, Alexander came home early for the first time in years. Ethan ran to him, eyes wide with surprise. "Daddy. You're home before dinner." Alexander knelt, scooping his son into his arms, something he hadn't done in so long, it felt foreign. "I've missed you, buddy," he whispered, his voice breaking. Grace stood nearby, unsure whether to stay or leave. But Alexander turned to her with genuine gratitude. "Grace, thank you. You've given me something money never could." Over the following weeks, everything changed. The cameras were removed. The late nights stopped. Alexander spent weekends with Ethan, building Lego castles, watching movies, cooking pancakes at dawn. And for the first time since his wife's passing, laughter filled the mansion again. One evening, as they all sat watching the sunset, Ethan looked up and said, "Daddy, you smile now. Mommy would like that." Alexander's throat tightened, but this time, his tears were warm, not from guilt, but gratitude. Grace smiled quietly beside them, knowing she'd not only helped a child heal but also reminded a man that love isn't found in control or power, it's found in compassion, in presence, and in the little moments we almost overlook.